And welcome back to part 2 of the top party games. Today we're going to do the top 10. If you missed my first video, I covered from 20 to 11, but now we're into the juicy top 10. I mean, honestly, they're all good games. I feel like most party games are just situational. So 19 could just be good as 5, but you know, this is how the ranking worked out. In case you're new here, hi, I'm Ryan, and welcome to the board game journey where you will be joining me to play 1,000 games. I'm trying to play 1,000 games. And now we were at 37 last video, so this with 10 more, actually technically plus 4, so that would be what, 47, it'll put me at like 41? Boom! 41 games played, and another 10 coming real soon here. So I'm getting close. I'm still a little ways from my 1,000, but you know, one game at a time, 1 foot at a time, one game at a time. So let's get into it. And just to recap how we did the rating, so I took all the games, and I kind of had 3 criteria. The first, and then basically everything's out of 5. So a best score is 15, the worst score could be 3 if they got 1s. So the first was like ease of teaching. So like 1 being hard to teach, like really hard, and 5 being super easy to teach. And then I did my personal rating, what I thought of the game, kind of what I liked, and then I kind of did my friends group. Now these are different friends, I kind of just averaged together most people's responses. Now some games aren't perfect, like one friend group loves it, one friend group hates it. Because maybe they're on the lighter family side and maybe they're more on the vulgar side. It really depends on who you're playing with, right? That's why it's not easy to have a perfect score. But these are pretty good. I mean, pretty solid. So let's just get into number 10. So number 10 is priorities. Now this game, I just really enjoyed it right from playing it. I like playing it casually. I like playing with friends. There's so many places I like to play. I even like playing this as like a date night game. It was just me and my wife. It's just like, because you get to like, see kind of how your partner thinks or how your friends think. So the game breaks down pretty darn simple. So with priorities, you take 5 random cards. In this case, it'll be like automated checkouts, a long hug, building sandcastles, reply all, and kick scooters. So these get laid out. I guess there doesn't matter what they face. So they basically put these in order from like their most priority to like least priority. Now, priority can be a misleading term. So I tend to say like, you know, you like or want the most and then the least. Now, sometimes there are things that are like you're neutral on. So I kind of say up front, but if you're neutral on it, don't put it last because you might hate something more than that. Neutral, I kind of float them towards the either like 3 or 4, right? Just my personal. That's how I like to set the rules up front so everyone kind of has a similar. Otherwise, it makes the next part hard. So they do that. They write them in the order they say. They don't touch the cards. They just write them in secretly. So they have their answers locked in on this card. And now this is fun because now openly as a group, we go through these 5 and try to figure out what this person did. Like, oh, you know, I really know. Say this is like my friend Rebecca. I know Rebecca really loves a long hug. That's her favorite. And then I felt like this would get me in trouble. My wife, I swear, I'm just a bad example. You know, like maybe she hates her, likes a long hug, hates replies all. She doesn't really care about kick scooters, but you know, I don't know. She likes building sandcastles, and we think automated checkout. She's probably neutral on these, but probably like that slightly more than that. So we would openly discuss this, and then people who know it really well, they'll argue on like the placement of a couple of them. But in the day, you decide, and then you check, and then based on the ones you get right, you keep those. And then the ones you get wrong go to like the game. And it's a race to spell priorities. You're all working together to try to get all the letters to spell priorities like before the game does. Because the game, all the ones that are wrong, if the game spells priorities, then you guys lose as a group. But if you spell it first, you win as a group. And that's really the game. It's pretty simple. But it is fun to, like, I like listening to people like hyper-analyze kind of hyper-analyze you because you're like, you don't think people know you as well or you're as predictable as you think until you sit quietly listening to what they're saying about you. And it is super interesting. Like, oh, Ryan really prefers it. I've seen him do this one time. You know, you're like, wow, they really are paying attention to me. So it's a fun one. Really enjoy it. And that is priorities. And number 9 is a slightly different take on games like Blank Slate and Green Team Wins that we talked about, but with a different twist on it. And this game is 3 of a kind. And like once again, this game was like, maybe I rated it slightly lower than my family, but they really loved it. I think, and I liked it too, because in the day, it's like, these kind of games are just good to like get to know people and it's fun to match, right? Because the twist of this game is you're trying to match what people are saying, but with a slightly different twist on how you get there. So with three of a kind, you start off with a category card, which is, you have a bunch of them, a bunch of category cards. Let's just say the category is like, things at a wedding, right? And then everyone gets a bunch of these adjective cards. Like everyone gets like 2 or 3 adjective cards, and they choose one to play with. So we would like say like, it might be like, like loudest thing at a wedding, maybe most depressing thing at a wedding, and then we'll just go with like, happiest. I mean, I guess you could just go easy, go happiest thing at a wedding, right? But that very well could, if that category end up being something like tools, then it takes a whole different meaning. Like happiest person at a wedding might be the bride, but like, or the mother or the husband. Well, you could say father to the bride, mother to the bride. But tools, I was like, what's the happiest tool? That's interesting. It's like, I don't know, the happiest tool. And those kind of responses, like you write in like what you think the happiest tool is, hammer, and then it's just funny to hear people's reasoning sometimes, like why they chose it. The reasoning is not important, but sometimes I ask because it is funny to hear. Like I think it's the jigsaw because of this reason, So in the day, you pick a topic. Everyone gets these like kind of portable whiteboards like this, and you write down, your 3 answers, right? And then this goal is like, the more people you match with, the more points you get. So if 3 of us had the same answer for loudest tool, like a jackhammer or something, we all wrote jackhammer, but then we would get as many points as we match with other people. And then, most depressing tools, right? So if I wrote something like that and they wrote the same thing, then if like 2 people got it, then I would write 2 points, right? So you try to match as many points as many people as possible. And that's it. You just play, I don't know, I forget the amount of rounds. Usually this kind of game we just play, first to 20 points, first to 30 points. We just I never quite follow the rules sometimes when it comes to scoring party games. I just kind of feel the vibe out of the room. Or we play a few rounds and I feel like it's starting to dip. I say, all right, last round, That's typically how these games go for me. But once again, another game, easy to play, similar to the other ones, but it's just funny because this forces you to come up with weird pairings and think about things that you normally don't think about in the way that you're forcing to think about it. It's a lot of think abouts in one long drawn out sentence, but ultimately, that is 3 of a kind. So here we are at number 8. Now this game I probably only play once a year because I prefer it at 7, 8, 9, even 10 players. You can play 5 or 6 people, but it's not my favorite at 5 or 6. And it also has a spicy title, so it's called Secret Hitler. I don't get caught up in the game. Essentially, this is like one of those like hidden role kind of games where you have the fascists versus the liberals, and the fascists are trying to take over and try to sabotage it. Because basically in the game, everyone's a liberal, but amongst the liberals are fascists trying to take over. And they're trying to pass fascist laws, right? And then essentially the liberals are trying to like pass enough laws to win or kill Hitler, right? That's the game. And there are a lot of other little things. But what makes this game super fun is it just gets everyone talking. I got into board games because I wanted people to talk. And here, everyone's just like interacting. Some games I find like you can just kind of be in your own little world. This game, you are face to face. And it's probably the most confrontational game that we play in terms of like, people get, at least my family with this game, gets pretty heated. People get yelling. I mean, we invited some people who haven't played before. We kind of just threw them in with us. And I just realized that's probably a mistake because we were over here like, blah, 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 you're this, you're a fascist. And then they're just like, what are we playing? Right? So maybe ease your friends in. But the components are really nice. We'll see that right now. Comes with different boards based on your player count, right? But ultimately, even like, I mean, look at this. The rule book is a spicy rule book, yeah. No, it's just in different languages, all it is. But they're nice pieces, nice wood little plaques and all that good stuff. But essentially, the game boils down to like you have these liberal laws and fascist laws. And then essentially, I won't go, it's too hard to explain without just playing it. But you're just trying to pass laws like to win the game, essentially. And there's things that happen as the game progresses, new powers unlock, and then you can actually take out people, right? So it's fun because there's hidden like information. Like the fascists know who they are, but liberals don't know. Liberals assume everyone's a liberal. The fascists know they're fascists and they know who their partners are, right? Hitler knows they're Hitler, but they don't know who they can trust. They don't know who the fascists are. They don't know who the liberals are, but the fascists know who Hitler is. So they're trying to help him like stay alive and like win the game. So it's just an interesting, depending on what role you get, because there's like 3 roles. You can be Hitler, you can be a liberal, you can be fascist, right? So that makes it interesting because you just don't know what you're going to get. You open the card and you're like, okay, I guess I'm a liberal today or whatever, right? And then depending on what cards you get is how you have to now play the game. And you kind of just get teamed up and you don't know who to trust. Like, especially if you're a liberal, you don't know who's good and who's bad. But if you're a fascist, you know who's bad and you know who's good. So you just have a different dynamic to kind of figure out how to navigate. But this game goes over really well with my family just because, you know, like I said, if I could have it my way, I would prefer, like, I wish they made like a game called like Secret Voldemort, like a Harry Potter themed version of this. Because I feel like I would play that in a heartbeat. Or even like a Ninja Turtle version. Any kind of I'll take any reskin of this game. Because that's the only thing about this game is bringing it out. Some people, it get a little touchy. So I just play it because it's a cool game. I mean, for me, it's just fun. So anyways, that's Secret Hitler. Yeah, so my family really enjoys it. And coming in at number 7 is probably the most different game on the list. I feel like you can see a lot of them have like similarities to them. This one, it is so different. And it is Pitchers. When I first was playing this, once a month or so, I have friends over just to play party games. We'll play games like this and other games on the list today. Nothing too crazy. And I have another group that we play the more of the serious, you know, gamer games. But with Pitchers, this one, my first time playing, I was like, guys, usually I say the same thing. Hey guys, new game. Let's try it out. If we hate it, we can stop. If we like it, hey, I'll keep it. So no pressure. If they want to stop mid-game, we can stop mid-game. So this game I went in knowing nothing about it. I just saw someone recommend it and I was like, hey, look cool, I'll try it. I'll give one example because it'll make way more sense. All right, so in the game, there'll be a lot more cards. I think the grid is it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It'll be 4. Be 4 by 4 grid of cards. So 16 cards in total. Right, and everyone's giving like some kind of building apparatus. They might get the building blocks, they might get 2 shoelaces, they might get stones and sticks. I even added in for extra players. It doesn't come with the game, but I added in Legos and some Jenga blocks and stuff. Really, it could be anything. The game comes with stuff, they come with expansions, but I find if you just get some random junk, it works with the game. So I think it comes with like only 5 players, but I made it work with 7. So, I mean, I just kind of figure out, okay, this is how the game works, we'll make it work. So now everyone draws like a little chip from the bag, and that tells you what position you're going to. So in this case, D4. So there'll be labels here. I would go like D and then 4, and then that's my card. And then I have to then secretly recreate these images with like string. You know what I mean? So black on black, probably hard to see that. Maybe I'll just do it with the blocks. So then you would then take the blocks in this case, and you would try to like build a cityscape that kind of made sense. Like you look at that drawing and say, okay, those big buildings and maybe a small building in between and this building over here. So you try to recreate like this image with your blocks, right? I'm just doing a quick job. That kind of feels kind of ish. I guess I switched those two. There we go. And that's better. And then the boat's over there. Maybe I'll put the boat like that. There's a little boat out in the harbor. So if I did something like that, now everyone's doing this with their objects, right, to their pitcher. And then after everyone's done, you take your little like scorecard. I laminated mine so they can last forever. And you go around and you try to write everyone's name in, you know, basically these are all gridded out. So you put like C4, A1, 2, whatever. You put the grid number to everyone's drawing. Everyone's like image that they created. And it's fun. At first this game seems like super hard. You're like, how can anyone get this? But when you see there's only 16 and you look at this, well, you go, well, it's not that, not that, not that. And you start to eliminate like most of them. And you'd be surprised, like when you see this, you go, wait, that's the boat. So you have to use your imagination, which I like. I like a game like this that at first you're like, there's no way. And then you get 1, then you get 2. And then before you know it, you're like, I think I got them all, right? And occasionally you miss one. Who cares? That's the point. That's the game. If you miss one, you miss one. And then at the end of the game, you compare. If you get it right, then you get X points. And if you guess the person's correctly, they get points. So you definitely get points for you want. That's why I like games that do that. They force the person to do well because they get points if you guess them right. And a lot of times, like that could be a lot more points sometimes. So it really encourages people to try hard. So yeah, that's Pitchers. It's fun. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy this game. It's one of those games where like it's so different from my other party games that people are just like, whoa. But it also give me a glimmer of hope that I probably can start sneaking in some non-party games as well. I feel like it would work now that they like this game. But anyways, hey, Pitchers, great one. Coming in at number 6 is another take on a trivia game. I'm a sucker for trivia games, and this was another take I'd never seen before. And it's a pretty new game. I think it just came out, and it is called Blind Jack. It combines blackjack with trivia. Who knew that was possible? Very creative. I like this a lot. So the concept of this game, super simple. It's kind of what it seems like. They're playing blackjack with trivia, because all the trivia questions have a numeric answer from 0 to 10. And you are, like, for instance, I'll just give you one example. Number of hours an African elephant sleeps within 24 hours. So the number of hours an African elephant sleeps within 24 hours. So that's the question. And then, actually, I'll give you another one that's even like, okay, right here's a good one. Record time to solve a Rubik's Cube in seconds, right? Record time. So what happens is you get the question, and then you guys have, if you're playing, like, say you're playing like 2 teams of 2 or whatever. I guess you can decide. It has 4 cubes, so you can split up how you want. 4 individual players. I like playing with teams. It's kind of fun to talk to somebody. So if I'm going first and I get the question, record time to solve a Rubik's Cube in seconds, like, I happen to know the answer because I'm into Rubik's Cubes. There's some behind me. So for instance, I can just estimate it to be 3, right? Now the thing is, you don't look at the answer, but you just estimate how much it is. And you're trying to get as close to the 21 without going over. So now the thing is, the people at home can see it. So they can see that the answer is 3. Now I wouldn't know that, they would know that. And that goes over here to me. And now they would go, right? They would go and get a question, duration of marriage between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt in a year. So how long was the marriage between Jolie and Brad Pitt? So then they estimate, they're maybe like, I don't know, like 5 years? So they think 5. And they would show us the answer. Oh, it was only 2. Oh, wait, I actually didn't know that. So they were only 2 years. So they're at 5. So they're already, like, higher, but they don't know that, of course. They're just coming a little higher than they think. So you keep going back and forth until you get to what you think is pretty close to 21. And then you just stop. You say, okay, I'm done. Now, I think the rules say you have to take at least 2 cards, which makes sense because 10 is the max value. So 2 cards, you could be at 20. And that's it. But after 2 cards, you can stop at any time you want. So 2 cards and then stop, whatever you want. Now, it doesn't really matter what your estimate value is. So you can even be over your estimate value. What really matters is you turn them over. So you turn over all the cards, and whoever's closest to 21 without going over wins the round or the game. Depends on how many rounds you're playing. And that's it. That's blackjack. Like I said, it's a cool take on trivia. I've been doing this real quick because what I do is I take it from here and I put the answer at the back facing the other direction. So I can see when I get through all the questions. Because there's a lot of questions, I feel like you don't go through too many in a couple. We played like 3 games and we barely went through any of them. So I feel like this game will definitely last a while. Because, I first got into games, I was like, man, I can only play this game 30 times. It's like, that's a lot of times. I think, but when it comes to these kind of games, you might bring this out like a couple times a year or maybe once a month. It lasts you years of entertainment. And that's assuming you actually memorize all the questions, which I'm not. I might know a couple of them, but this is great. So this is Blindjack. Yeah, basically a fun take on trivia. All right, we're on the home stretch here. We're on number 5. Now this one I imagine is going to be very group dependent. You may love it, you may hate it. My group likes it because we love music. And this game is down here actually. It is Hitster. So this is one of the games where, I don't know, I'll be at the store or Barnes & Nobles or a game store and I'll see a game on the shelf and I'll be like, I never heard of it, but I'll just take a gamble. And 7 out of 10 times is not good. And it doesn't end up giving it away to somebody. Or it's good for like a couple of plays and the novelty wears off. But this one's fun. We don't overplay this game. Like I probably play this game, here and there, right? Like I said, maybe a few times a year. But when I do play it, it's a lot of fun. Because I think, at least my group, we just enjoy music and it's fun. It's also just a good time. Because in this game, you're trying to order. Whoa, all my chips got. Yeah, I had this game stored flat, but then in transport, it tilted up. I really want to get a 3D printer to solve this problem. So there's a lot of cards. Look at this. There's a whole bunch of cards I haven't even cracked open yet. And I still have a bunch. I think I basically have maybe used half these cards. Just so many cards. It doesn't even matter because you'll see in a second how it works. So essentially how it works, it comes with an app, which is kind of cool. So it's an app you can get, I can't forget. So yeah, it's an app. And you connect it to your Spotify or other music services. I know it works with Spotify. I'm not sure if it works with other ones. And essentially what happens is you scan this little QR code and then it starts playing the music, which is kind of cool. So it starts playing the music right away, boom, 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 boom. But it plays in a way where you can't see the artist or anything. It just starts playing it and all you see is is that all you hear is the music. You don't see the artist, you don't hear the song. And now you have to determine like where this card goes. It makes more sense by having the card now. I think everyone starts with one card. So 1984. So this song, I don't have I'm not have the app out right now. That's why I can't play it either. Is the Eurythmics, you know, Sweet Dreams. You know, Sweet dreams are made of whatever. So it's that song. So now I have to determine, did that come before or after 1984? Now that one's tough because I'm pretty sure it's close. I mean, I could go either way. Now, if it's 84 and 84, it's fine because it's just a continuation. I'll guess here. It very well could be here. It is 83. I should have looked when I looked at the name, but I did not. I did not look. So that's it. So now I got it right in the timeline. So later on, when the next one comes up, it plays, you know, Phil Collins, Another Day in Paradise. And this goes pretty new. This goes from like 50s to like, it was late 2000s. I feel like it was at least 2017, 2018. Yeah, at least 2021 at least, if not. So you got some pretty current music. And then things go back to the past. I mean, my sweet spot is 90s. So 90s, early 2000s, that's where I shine. So I hope for those. But I actually have a pretty good understanding of 70s and 80s, you know, because of my parents. They raised me right. So then, you know, let's just see those other ones. Just give you some examples. It could be like, you know, even Kendrick Lamar, Humble, 2017. So if I hear that one, you'd be like way over here. And you can insert in between. You can be like, I think it's here or I think it's here. But ultimately, I think it's the first person to get 10 down wins. Or you can probably alter it the way you want. And that's it. Because if you get it wrong, I think you just don't get to put it down. Now, there's advanced versions too. And there's also like stealing and stuff. Like if you can put it down, but also name the artist or name the artist and the song. There's other versions. I just played a simple version. I just have put it in order. And there's all these tokens and stuff for like, you can like do lifelines. I don't know. I didn't play any of that stuff. I just want to listen to the song, try to put it in order. And it's just, you get some good jam. Trust me, sometimes you just like, good song comes on. You're like, let it play. Let it play. Well, you can answer in a second. So yeah, so that's his third. Works great for my group. All right, moving on along to number 4. The next game is, again, honestly, it goes over well with anybody. It's probably one of the new modern classics that will be in everyone's collection. It will probably replace Uno one day. And this is, of course, Flip 7. Now, I played this a lot when it first came out. I admittedly have not played it at all in months. But, you know, I just want to, I try to, at least for me, I love playing new games. So once a game gets played a bunch, I have a bunch of new party games I'm like trying to introduce. So those will go in rotation. I keep switching through. But honestly, if someone came over, like my parents or this and that, like this is the game I'm reaching for. It's so simple. Anyone will play it. I've literally probably gifted maybe 6 or 7 copies of this. So you're welcome, the op. Because it's just a game that I know I can give somebody and they're going to have a great time. Especially they have a new one out that's like $8 or something like that. My only wish is I wish I had that small box that came out originally with like the promo packs. Oh man. If you're listening to the op, I will pay double just for that box. I just want it. I just really want that little box. I want to take one. This is too big. And the other one, I know it's smaller, but I hate the fact that it has that little like tag flap on the top for like hanging it on. I don't know. Those things irk me. They just irk me. And I want to cut it off, but you can't really cut it off because then anyways, you get it. I mean, it's a personal thing. I get it. Personal thing. It's just me. So anyway, it's Flip 7. If you don't know what this is, I will give the quick summary that everyone always says. Now, this is a game I will always teach it while playing. I never teach this game like, here, well, this is how you play Flip 7. No, we'll play with you guys. Let's play. You have let's say everyone starts with their cards. So you have a 12, a 3, and an 8. Now the question is, you have a 12, you can stop now. Take 12 points, bank it. First person at 200 points wins. We'll play over several rounds. So they all go pretty quick, just so we're clear. Now you can hit, meaning you can take another card. But if it's another 12, you're out and you get nothing. You don't get the 12 points. And just so we're clear, there are 12 12s in this deck. There are 3 3s in this deck. There's 8 8s in this deck. Just to give you, there's 1 1. Do you want to hit, yes or no? Yes, I want to hit, Ryan. Okay, big gamble. But now he has a 10. See, now he has a 10 and a 12. But there's 10 more 10s in this deck. And there's still 11, sorry, there's 9 more. Come on, math's hard. There's 9 more 10s in this deck and there's 11 more 12s because these would be the other ones that are missing. So then that happens and then they might hit and they might hit. Okay, we all hit perfectly well. But you go until either you stop or you bank. And there's a few special cards in here as well. Oh, see the 1s are nice. Because you get a 1, you know you're safe. You're not going to bust on a 1. But 11's tough. Oh, man. You know what? I want to see how far we can. Oh, there we go. He busted. Okay. So you got 2 12s. Now, he might have stopped because, 22, 23 is a lot of points. I find that, If you can get up close to 30 or 20, you might as well just stop. The odds will start working out in your favor. But he's at like what, 30, 21? Maybe he stops, but he's going for it. Oh, his second chance card. So these are in the deck as well. There's second chances, there's draw cards. Second chance means he can bust, turn this card in, and keep going. So if it was his turn again, oh, he busted on, say it was his next round. If he busted that time, then he can turn this in, the 11 goes with it, and now he can go again, right? Okay, good. So we keep doing this, but it's super simple. You literally just play and teach. And as special cards come up, like, flip 3, it's easy. Oh, you got flip 3. So you can flip 3, or you can give it to somebody else, and they have to flip 3. Ooh, right? So, and there's other things too. There's freezes and all these other cards. Super simple to teach, but I just teach it while you play. I just kind of instruct. And by the time you get through like a round or two, everyone's locked in. Everyone gets it. And that's it. First 200 points wins the game. Now, definitely one of those games where like, I noticed the trend is hot tip. Just because you're behind, don't always risk it sometimes. Sometimes it's good just to bank 30, 20, 28, because eventually luck will turn and then you're consistently going up and most people are just going down. Of course, anyone can have that hot run. Get a hot run where you're just like, second chances, you get the doubler cards, one double card in there, you can double your... Anyways, it's a fun game. Flip 7, if you haven't played, I mean, to me, it's like I said, it's classic. Instead of Phase 10 and Uno, which is in everyone's houses, I feel like Flip 7 will be bumping those out in no time, and this will be king of those games. Man, top 3. I feel like I need like a drum roll. Top 3. Number 3, man, I think this will be the new hot game. I think everyone, it's sold out. I can't even get my buddies. I've been showing people and they've been trying to buy it. Like they just want to buy this game so bad. Hard to find, it's right here. Oh, the big one. The box is the coolest thing. This is Hot Streak. Look at this box, man, look at this box. Looks so cool. So this is think the new Camel Up, the new Race Set Bet. This is like the easiest racing game. It's really what it comes down to. I mean, I was following some YouTuber, Actual Law. I love him. He mentioned it in like one of his newsletters, and I was like, bought it. And I'm glad I did it right then, because like shortly after, it was sold out, and then you just have to wait. So the board right here comes out. Come on, come on, people. That's just, I can stop right there. And you got these little racer dudes right here. So you have like, we have the bear. He looks, I don't know, we keep thinking he's a tiger, maybe because he's orange. So our group nicknamed him the Biker, just like a bear tiger. And then you have like the trusty hot dog named Hurley. And the instruction book says like, you'll be yelling at a hot dog for no reason. And they were right. My very first game, this hot dog did some dirty things and won the race. And I was very upset. And I was cursing at a hot dog, darn it. So, I mean, I won't go through the whole game, but ultimately you have these betting cards where you bet on these races. And then you have side bet cards where you can bet like on outcomes. Like, because in this game, you have these cards and you play with like I think, depending on the player count, you're going to have a very small section of the whole deck. And then in this game, you openly show everybody what's in the deck we're playing with. And everyone secretly has 3 cards. So everyone has their own cards. So then you see kind of, you pair them up. I'm just going fast for you guys, just to keep it quick. But you'll see the pair up. You'll see, okay, he has these cards, he has these cards. Essentially, these are movement. So if a 2 comes up, like this 2 card for the fish, it moves him 2 spaces. So you can look at this and get a rough idea how you think the race is going to come out. And then everyone then adds secretly a card. So like for instance, the fish, that's a lot of movement, but I might add in a fall down card. So I'll secretly add that in. I know it's there, but now if that comes up, the fish falls down. What that does, a couple of things. Now if he gets like a 2 movement, he can only move 1. Or even a 3 movement, he can only move 1. And if he happens to get knocked, like, by the way, people can swerve. So if Hurley swerved over in his lane and hit him while he's down, he's like double knocked out and he's out of the race. He'll go to like 4th place. So you can see this game being pretty chaotic. There's also like turnaround cards. Like for instance, this might be going down here. All of a sudden he turns around and now he's going the wrong way. Or they can like fly off the course. They might shift right and go too far right. And now they're just off the course. So there's a lot of shenanigans, right? And you play over 3 rounds, and each round there's a little bit different flair and stuff. Like you'll get more and more information. You have a little bit of player agency, but mostly it's just like a horse race. You're just there to watch, hope for the best, shout out a hot dog, and have a good time. Oh, forgot to show you this. It rolls back up. Come on, people. Look at this. Yeah! I mean, the storage solution alone, top notch, guys, top notch. Okay, number 2. Now, if you guys watched my earlier videos, this probably won't be a surprise. This game is just a family favorite. I can bring it out at any party, anywhere I go, and it always just does well. And I love trivia. You'll see a big thing about trivia. And this is Wits and Wagers. Sorry, that shook everything here. This box has been beat up. I'm gonna have to start taping it soon. Party games, I don't get too concerned about the boxes. I bring them wherever, I throw them in bags. Like, they're gonna get beat up. And this, unfortunately, I also have 2 games within this box. I bought like some of the other editions of Wits and Wagers with like newer questions, and I like put them in here as well. So this probably has like 3 different games like built into one box. So Wits and Wagers is a trivia gambling game. Now, similar to Say Anything, you don't have to know, like, what you write down isn't important. It's what you bet on. So in Wits and Wagers, they give you the quick summary if you haven't seen my other videos, like this. And then everyone has their whiteboards, they write your answers down, and a question gets asked. How many symphonies did Mozart publish? So everyone will write down like a number, and then those numbers get placed on the board. And depending on where they're placed, they get placed from like, least to most kind of thing. And then depending on where they end up, like some are worth 4 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1. So that's how they pay out. So you'll have your betting chips. Like you might bet your chip with $100, and if it pays out 3 to 1, you're now getting 3 times the money you put in, right? So now the cool part is, like you said, your answers don't necessarily matter. You can bet on your answer, or you can bet on someone else's answer. If I feel like, my buddy over here specializes in musical theory, I might be like trusting him on his answer more. Or no, I love Mozart, so maybe I know it's closer. I don't know. So that's the thing. You're kind of like using your gut, but also betting on who you think might be the winner. And then that's it. You play as many. We usually play like 10 rounds. I think the rule book says 7. We usually play like 10. And then most money wins. And usually by the last question, people just go all in, and that makes it very kind of scary. Because like sometimes, depending on how well you're doing, you're like, crap, I have to go all in, because if they hit it, I'm screwed. So that's it. That's Wits and Wagers. I mean, it's a super high level summary. I guess because it is similar to some of the other games we played, and I have talked about it in another video in detail. But it's fun. It's my favorite like trivia betting game. I mean, I also like Blind Jack, because that's obviously a lot easier, less cumbersome, because I can just bring the box with me. This is a big game, big game. But with the chips and the banking and all that stuff, it makes for a very fun experience. And that is Wits and Wagers. Okay, we're here. Number 1. I love this game. Obviously, it's number 1. I do love this game a lot. Unfortunately, I can't play it too much, because I like this game at like higher player counts. I like to have 8, 9, 10, 12, a lot of people. I like big groups. It keeps it fun. I think last time we played it, we had like 14 people, so it was like 2 teams of 7, because it's a team-based game. And this is, of course, Monikers. I love it. Like I doubt this is for everybody. I know some people just, most people love this game, but I can see why some people don't like it. Now, some of the material in Monikers, if you're like sensitive and stuff into certain things, maybe some of the words and some of the things in here, maybe take those out. I find most are really clean, so like it's probably like a handful of cards. So you go through, take out the ones that are going to upset people. But there's so many editions. I have probably 3 different editions of this game, so there's so many cards. You can go on forever. But like I said, I don't play this game very often. I wait until I have a good crowd of people, and it's a perfect game to bust out. And it's easy. I find it hard to explain to people, and it's easier to just play and they get it, because they get too wrapped up into the details, and versus just saying, okay, round 1, we're gonna do this. And then, now the one thing I have to say about this game is, I probably should tell you what it is. Yeah, the high level gist of this game is everyone has cards. And it might be like something like Hold My Beer, Kindergarten Cop, Miss Piggy. We'll just say these right here, right? And then everyone has a bunch of cards, and they all choose say their top 5, right? If you're playing, there's different rules for how many you choose, but we'll just say everyone picks their top 5. So it goes into a master pile of cards, right? These, a stack of cards, everyone's 5. So that's interesting, because now 5 of the cards in here. Like you picked them, so you know what they are. So you have at least an inkling that Miss Piggy, Kindergarten Cop, and Hold My Beer are in there, right? So now everyone knows some information, and then you break up the 2 teams. So like if you think about it, each team knows half of the stuff in here, and then they don't know the other half. So there's a lot of known information, because some of these are hard. Because the very first round, you're gonna play 3 rounds. Round 1, you can literally, you take turns as teams. Like I go first. I have all the cards. And my goal in like, I think it's a minute or so, try to get as many of these as I can, right? I try to, now, what's been Miss Piggy? I can describe it any way I want. I just can't say Miss Piggy. They even have definitions on them, right? You know, a Muppet, a spouse of Kermit the Frog, et cetera, et cetera. So have stuff on here to give you clues, just in case you don't know where it is. I love that. I like that, because maybe you don't know the word, but you can literally just read it if you don't know the word, right? But otherwise, it's kind of like you can just describe it any way you want. And that's round one. So you go through all the cards, right? And now here's the cool thing. You keep the same cards. This is important. You keep the same cards. So you're going to hear the same cards for 3 different rounds. And that's very useful because it gets harder as you go. Because now, round 2, same cards. They get mixed back up. And also, I should probably mention, there's points at the bottom of the cards. Like you keep track of each round's points. But round 2, same cards, but now you can say one word, which seems really hard. But what most people don't realize, you know the words now that are in the deck. So one word, you can get there a little easier. And in my experience, a lot of times there's a lot of inside jokes and things that happen during round 1 that you can refer back to. You can give a clue that has nothing to do with the word, but they know what you mean. So that's right, round 1, you do that. And now, round 3, you play the same cards again, but now it's like charades. You're acting it out, you can't talk, which, you know, try to do kindergarten card without talking would be very difficult. But like after the 3rd round, after all the stuff, they're very familiar with it, and it's just funny. You'll be surprised. It's one of those games where it just works so well. You think, I don't get how this is gonna work, and then it just works so well. And I guarantee what I love about this game, why I picked it as my number 1, is each time I play this game, which has only been like maybe 4 times in my life, it was just crazy because I love this game, is you'll walk away with that group and you have just a plethora of inside jokes that only make sense to you guys. Like there's so many times where we're like telling people this game, I'll tell them a joke that happened and they're just like, that's stupid. But I'm like, yeah, you're right, because you kind of live in that moment. And we kind of created this like scenario where that's the funniest thing I ever did. Like I had to do like a cat eating catnip, and I acted it out in a really weird way. And then today, they're still making fun of me, like 2 years later. So, I won't do it here. It's for them. Inside joke. So yeah, that's Monikers. I love this game. I hope that made sense to you. Like I said, I usually don't explain it like that. I'll just say, the one caveat, I'll say, hey guys, it's a game where you have to be here. You can't just because team A is going, team B can't tune out, because they have to hear the words being said, right? And that's so important with this game, which I like, because everyone has to be engaged the entire game. Because if team B just tunes out, they're not going to hear all these words. And then round 2 is going to be very hard, because they're like, what word is that? It's one word. So if everyone's listening, it's a great game. So like I said, very group dependent in that sense. Now, if you're playing with a large enough crowd, like we played with like 14 people the other day, that was fine. One person had to go to the bathroom, they can walk away, because the other 6 people will carry you. You maybe miss a few words, but you'll be fine. You'll fill in where you can fill in, but it's not the end of the world. So yeah, Monikers, man, number 1. Love it. Man, we just made it through. That was it. Guys, thank you for joining me on this video. That's top 20 party games. Now, I have a bunch more party games unplayed. I can't wait to play. I even bought a new trivia game that I'm really excited to try. I'm a sucker for trivia games. I find they just work well in the party environment. So I hope you guys enjoy the list. You know, obviously throw a like, throw some comments, and hey, down below, what is your favorite party game? Maybe I haven't played it yet. I played a bunch of them, so let me know if what your favorite is. I'd love to see if I'm missing out on one. Anyways, all right, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.